Hi, welcome back. This is Ms. Clemens Brenton, and this is video 2 of Lesson 1 in Unit 4. We will now take what we learned in video 1 about naming prisms and pyramids and apply it to some examples. So let's get started. Remember, when naming prisms, we must have two congruent bases, and the remaining sides must be rectangular. And when naming pyramids, we have one base, and there's an apex above that base, where the remaining sides, which are all triangles, will meet. So let's look at example A. When I look at this 3D object, I see two triangular faces that are congruent, and the remaining sides are rectangles. So therefore, this 3D object would be a triangular prism. When I look at B, I see that I have one distinct base down here on the bottom. This would be a hexagon because it has 6 sides, and the remaining sides are all triangular, which meet at the top, called the apex. So because it has one base and the remaining sides are triangles, then this is a pyramid. So this would be called a hexagonal pyramid. Looking at example C, again I see one distinct base, and I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sides to that base, so that would be an octagon. The remaining sides are triangles, and again, they all meet at that one point above the base called the apex. So because the remaining sides are triangles, this would be called an octagonal pyramid. Looking at D, D looks a little bit different than the typical shapes that we've seen, but I can see that I have a shape back here and a shape here in the front that are congruent. Each of those shapes, even though it's not a regular polygon, it is a polygon, but each of those shapes has 5 sides, and 5 sides would be a pentagon. So in addition to those two faces, we have rectangles for the remaining sides. So because the rest of the sides are rectangles, this would be a pentagonal prism. Example 2, name the 3D objects that would be formed from each net. So when I look at example A, the net allows me to see all the faces at one time. So I can see that I have two congruent shapes, one here and one here. Each of those shapes has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. 6 sides means it's a hexagon. And the remaining sides are rectangles. So because it has rectangular sides, it means it's a prism. And because it's a hexagon, it means it's a hexagonal prism. When I look at example B, I can see one distinct base here in the middle. We can't call this a square because it's not telling us that the sides are all equal. So therefore, I would say that that's a rectangle. And because the remaining sides are triangles, then that means it forms a pyramid. So this would be a rectangular pyramid. Looking at example C, I can see one distinct base. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, 6 sides, which means it's a hexagon. The remaining sides are triangles. And again, because the remaining sides are triangles, it's a pyramid. So this would be a hexagonal pyramid. Looking at example D, I actually have 4 triangles. So if all the sides are triangles and there's no rectangles, this means it has to be a pyramid. One of these then would form the base. So if one of these is the base, which is a triangle, then this would be a triangular pyramid. Now I would like you to proceed to the activities for lesson 1.